mark makers, welcome to the Marking Milestones Way of Water podcast. We are so excited to share this episode with you guys today. We're going to dive deep into childhood memories, tough situations, and having a heart like David. And we just hope that you enjoy this episode and have a great day, guys.
I don't know. I think we should just open up how recent times, just like, because we almost haven't really seen each other like this. We went on vacation.
Yeah.
We had to take care of all the kids and everything like that, so it wasn't really like we could have a conversation like this.
Right.
And now we're back home, and I've been going back to work, and you've been taking care of the kids, so we haven't really had a chance to sit down and talk
and interact. Like
not really. Well, every time we've been interacting has been very much work related.
Right.
It hasn't really been anything deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way, because we've been focused on all of this as much as we can.
Right.
We've
been focusing on the other side of things, and
yeah. Where do you feel like you're at right now? Like in terms of like the business and faith related too, but just like in general, like we're back home from vacation, so you're back to reality.
Right. I mean, I feel good about things. It was kind of like a whirlwind when we came back, and we had a few orders that we had to fulfill, and it was a little bit, I guess, kind of nerve-wracking a little bit.
I was freaking out
at first, but I try not to make it seem like I'm maybe a wreck inside sometimes, because I know how you can be. So
100%.
If I'm gonna be the same way, then we're gonna have a problem. So,
but that's why people ask me about that all the time, because a lot of my friends know how I am when it comes to things. I'm 100 miles a minute, like freaking out as much as I can. And they've asked me before. They were like, "Dude, like, is your sister the same way as you are? Because if y'all are the same way, there's no way this is gonna like."
It's gonna work out.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're like a good balance between each other, because where I'm very much face value freaking out, you'll kind of throw it behind your shoulder, and then you'll be, you're like, you're chilling, you're good.
Yeah.
Inside you might be like screaming a little bit, but you're good.
It's knowing how to navigate, I guess, different personalities. Like knowing how to talk to you in a certain moment. And I feel like a lot of times I would be like, okay, God, give me wisdom right here, because I'm not sure exactly how to approach this situation or whatever. And I never want things to escalate into something like it would blow up. Or
Because you don't want to if you have a situation where you know good can come from it, and you jump into it the wrong way, you have a chance to ruin that moment.
Yeah. I think I've learned as I get older, and as I've kind of gotten a little bit deeper into my faith and a little bit closer with God, that I tend to, which is a very good habit to get into, I kind of stop, and I'm like if a negative thought pops into my mind, it's like I'll stop now and be like, God, I really would not like to be thinking this. Can you please like erase it? Like,
so that alone kind of encapsulates the difference between the two of us and how we work very balanced. So where you can take a thought that is like if you say like intrusive thoughts, like on the internet, like, oh, these intrusive thoughts getting to me, and I'm gonna act on the intrusive thoughts, whatever. Like, you can sit back and say, oh, this is negative, God, take it away from me. I will sit for 5 hours and dwell on one thought that means absolutely nothing right after. Like, you could for some reason, we could go eat somewhere, and I will dwell on the fact that I'm either gonna spend too much money, or the waitress is going to drop a cup on me. Like, irrational things that do not matter, I will dwell on for hours, even after I'm gone from the situation. And then I'll start making up things that are, like, the situation will be over, and I'm past the situation. A good outcome could come from that situation, from that specific situation.
Right.
And I will still figure out a way how to, like, well, this could have happened. It didn't. They could have.
Right.
You know?
It's like you overanalyzing things.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I used to be a lot like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like as I get older, like I said, and I have a family now and stuff, do not get me wrong. I still have my moments. I still have times where it is like that. Or my husband may be like, Lindsay, you need to stop being so negative about, and he's right. Like, I shouldn't be like that. And so I think through that, I've learned to stop and ask God for help. Like,
okay.
Or say, there's a lot of times where I'm like, please, like, I don't want to be thinking this. Like, I don't want to be thinking something negative. I don't want to be having these thoughts. So can you please take it away? And he takes it away, like, right away from me.
So, I want to ask you that then. Let's say in situations where it all, before I say this, it all stems from God. Mm-hmm. Before I kind of get into it, it all stems directly from God. Mm-hmm. But in a situation where you're not directly asking God to take it away from you, mm-hmm. where do you see him at action? Do you see Tyler as like your rock in those situations?
Yes.
Because like you said,
mm-hmm.
you're gonna have your moments where you're human,
right?
And you're gonna just be like off the rail, you
right.
know, like
everybody does.
Yeah. So, do you see him as at for the both of you, but at moments where like you said, he's like, Lindsay,
mm-hmm.
come back this way.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely see it that.
Oh yeah. He I feel like he has grown so much too,
mm-hmm.
in his spirituality and faith, that like he's finally realized that this is how the man's supposed to be.
Mm.
He's supposed to be guiding his family to our Lord.
Yeah.
And he's going to do everything that he can to try.
Yeah.
And nothing's perfect.
Right.
But he's going to try to do everything that he can to try to get us there.
For sure.
And stay on the right path. And we have the same mindset, like, for our children. So, like, we both know that ultimately, I mean, God lent them to us. Like,
mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, it's our responsibility to show them the right way and to guide them. And so we have to ask, God to help us by saying, like, we say prayers like that every night, where it's like, God, please help me and Tyler to be able to guide our children in your direction. Yeah. Or he'll say that.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that really, really, really helps a lot, like in a relationship wise, is all of a sudden, like, he went on retreat and he came back and it was amazing. And he realized that, like, I need to be praying with my wife, not praying by myself. So at night, like, we would do it with the kids, but it's like different. He holds my hand. Yeah. And like prays. And like we say stuff like that. Like, we want to be able to guide our children.
Y'all directly put God first in the relationship.
Right.
So,
and it came with time. I'm not saying that, like, when we got married, we loved each other and stuff like that, but I don't think that we truly understood until later on.
God was there, but now it's become like that y'all have fully established a foundation in which God has been placed first. Right. And
listen, we don't always we fall.
Well, that's humanity.
Right.
We're human.
Right.
Do you see, like, because I'm single, not married, don't have any kids. Mm-hmm. And we have these conversations a lot. Because I like the fact that we're so far in age, but close enough in mind to understand each other's. Because you've already been down the road I'm down, and I'm yet to have gone down the road that you have. Do you see your children as a driving force to continue your faith? Now, not that you don't already have a driving force for yourself, but because you're teaching them and have a responsibility to teach them, do you see them as like a consistent driving force to go forward and grow more? Because you're able to teach more when you know more. Right.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that having them is almost like motivation to be like, okay, I need to get deeper into the word and I need to learn these things because they're going to have questions for me. Yeah. And listen, you're not going to know the answers to everything, and that's okay. Yeah. And you can say, like, let's figure this out. Like, we're going to find out. But if you kind of have some of that wisdom and knowledge already, like, I'll say prayers, like, for God to help me to understand him. Because I feel like that's very important. Like I said, if they have a question about something, I never just want to be like dismiss them or like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
If I'm not sure, then hey, I'm not sure, but we can find out like what it is.
Yeah,
like,
that's like saying if somebody asks me a question, I don't know the answer. I'm going to tell you I don't know the answer, but I'm going to try my hardest to find the answer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yes, I do think that they are like a motivation to want to be closer to the Father so that I can get them closer to Him, too. Yes, I want it for myself, but I want it for myself and, like, for my children.
Yeah.
You want it for yourself first so that you can...
Correct. Okay.
You know.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So from what I'm gathering, in this is more in terms of for a family dynamic. What I'm reading from you, because it is a family dynamic at its core. But when it comes to your faith, and I think you can agree with me in this, that you always need to have a good foundation around you, not solely traveling alone. You need people around you,
right,
to fill your cup as much as you're filling theirs.
Yeah.
Because personally, I have not. It's been a while since I've had a group of people, more than myself, to divulge in this type of conversation. I've gotten it with you. I've gotten it back with you.
Right.
But like I have not had a group of people in which I can dive deeper in my faith or personal relationships, because I don't have the group in which that they want to discuss that. Not that they don't. They're, part of it is I don't want to open that door.
I was about to say,
yeah.
I think part of it is that you should just dive in.
Correct.
And have the courage to just, like, bring it up. My husband will do that, like, in certain situations I've noticed now. Like, he will bring it up, and especially around people that he knows are, like, falling off, or they're not sure, or they don't believe.
Yeah.
He will definitely dive in.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. That's how we should be.
And
I guess.
I don't ever agree with a lot of people believe that Catholics want to hit you over the head with a Bible and tell you to go to church and get on your knees 24/7. That's not the point of it. The way that Tyler does it, though, I love, because he sees it as I'm gonna help you as best I can, and when I see the opportunity present itself, I'm going to allow God to work.
Right. And he also feels like, if you're not going to accept it right now, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't hurt his feelings or hurt him. He's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If I'm letting you know the information, and if you want to take it in whichever way you want to, that's on you, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
And they always come back the next time asking a question.
See, yeah. Well, because we all have, like what I read today, and I wish I would have written it down, the anchor tugging at you.
We talked about that.
Yeah. A relationship with God is always going to be like that anchor, and if you have a short line, a tight line, when it goes taut, it'll pull you back. It'll bring that boat right back where it needs to be. If you got a long line, just letting out loose line, you're drifting further and further away. Yeah, you're not getting brought back to where you need to be.
Right.
But that anchor always tugs. It don't matter how far away that rope is, it'll always tug at some point.
Yeah.
And that right there, where they come back the second time, is a tug. He's like, hey, I'm here. Just pull in a little bit of line.
And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is like a positive, like coming back with something positive, and sometimes it's not.
Right.
Sometimes it's like, I don't think that, and this is what I think, and so what you have to say about that?
Well, a lot of people that do not, and including myself, including a lot of Catholics, that do not fully understand a specific teaching or a specific word or a specific thing that is being told to them, will be quick to anger and judgment and want to say, well, no. I believe this, and how dare you say this, because that's completely
Or
incorrect.
if it's something that they don't want to hear, like
Yeah.
like they know that they're doing it wrong, I guess. Or maybe they don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't know. Let me not say that.
Right.
Maybe they don't know that they're doing something wrong, but you're telling them that, no, this is the right way.
Yeah.
And
If it's already been established in their lives as something that's
they don't
okay.
want to hear it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, this is how I'm going to do. It's a selfish kind of move,
Yeah.
I guess.
In a way, 100% it is.
Yeah.
Well, and that turns into awareness. It deepens the sin whenever you're aware of the situation.
Right.
Like I have been fully aware. I'm aware of a lot
Me
of things.
too.
I've always had the feeling of awareness since I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that came with anxiety since I was young. But having full on awareness of like, well, this is right and wrong. A moral compass has been established very early on.
Right.
And nowadays, being fully aware of certain things and certain sins and still choosing them, it'll deepen the sin and make you sit with those feelings. And you have two roads. You jump to anger and pride, or you go confess it and turn to Him.
Right.
Which are you going to choose in that situation?
And so many people are afraid to choose to go confess.
Dude, well...
I used to be like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so scared, like,
Yeah.
so afraid because I was hearing all these things from everybody.
Yeah.
Saying stuff like how they were so scared
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
how this priest did this or
Yeah.
like whatever. And it's not scary like you think. Like,
No.
you know?
Well, because I've had my own personal interactions with a priest before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, well, I wouldn't say I was that young. I was in high school. I think it was either, I forget when this was. It was between like sophomore to senior year. It was somewhere in that time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I needed to go to confession. And because I was getting prepared for some things that was going on at school and everything like that. And I was like, confession is, I need to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, and this priest specifically, I've had conversations with him before and after, and he's not a bad guy whatsoever.
Right.
Well, I go into confession. I start confessing certain things that I'm embarrassed about, because I'm like I'm aware.
Of course, everybody is.
Yeah.
It's like some things you just like don't even want to say.
Right.
It's like I don't want to tell him that I did that.
Right, exactly. Because I'm gonna get off on a tangent. Because I had a friend that was just like he was like, I don't want to go into the priest and tell him I did this.
Yeah.
Like,
what is he gonna think of me?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not how they do though. That's
Yeah.
not,
It's not exactly. Well,
they're not gonna remember this is you that came to me and said.
Yeah. Right.
So
I'm telling him all these sins and stuff, and he just kind of stops me. I was like, okay. And he's like, why? Like, and I'm in my young brain, I'm like, what do you mean? Like that it freaked me out. It's like, well, why'd you do that? And he kept saying like, why would you do that? Why'd you do that? And I tried to explain, and his way of doing that, because I had a conversation with him before this.
Mm-hmm.
His way of doing that was very much, I want to get to the root of the problem in which the sin is stemming from.
Right.
In my young brain at the time, it was very judgmental.
Right.
And I remember just being like, all right, look, that's all I got. Can you just
this is
do
it.
your thing?
I need to do.
Yeah. Like in my young,
Yeah.
like I was so young, I was just like,
I get it.
Can you give me my 20 Hail Marys and I'm going Sam, I'm leaving, dude.
Yeah,
I don't want to sit here and continuously talk about this.
Yeah.
If it feels like you're going to jump on me for it.
Right.
And so that stemmed into like, well, I don't want to go to confession again because that's just judgmental.
Right.
So
then that's it.
Right. You have one bad thing happen, which makes me think, I'm like, in faith, why does one thing that happened shock and wreck you, but you can go do human things and 1,000 things can happen, but you continuously go, not necessarily a sinful thing,
right?
Just anything.
Yeah.
When we get into a car every day, even though some of us have been in car wrecks,
right?
We still choose to go and
you're still gonna get in the car and go where you need to go.
Correct.
Right.
So why when it comes to faith, one bad thing happens or one person did a certain thing in the church that you just want to throw it away?
It rocks your world. You get knocked off, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the reason why it does that is because faith itself and religion itself and believing in our Lord is so filled with passion and deepness and love that if something, perverts that or taints it, it's like, well, it's like having a breakup.
Right.
It's like breaking up.
So like deep down inside, you're probably like heartbroken.
Yeah.
About the situation.
Yeah.
And like so disappointed in yourself.
Yeah.
That it's like you can't climb back up that hill again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, yeah. Well, because so I like to call this like the priest thing. Recently, so after leaving high school, because in high school we had mass and stuff. Like went to private school, and like so we had to go to mass, and we learned, which I loved because I appreciate it more now because where I'm at now is different. Because having that every single day, every single week was like at one time, you got me and my friends that were just like, oh, I don't feel like doing this today. Looking back on it, I'm like, man, we had that like right next door to us and barely used it.
I know exactly.
Yeah. So leaving high school, going into college and doing college things that a young kid, they look at that and think that it looks just like it's so marketed and so like it looks sexy to the eyes of somebody that is young. Like you just want those things. It's shiny, it's gold.
Right.
So you run all those things, and the more and more I would do that, the more and more it was like,
you was feeling something that.
Oh, it was tugging. It was tugging at me, but I was pushing it. Let's let out some more rope.
Yeah.
I don't need that right now. No. I don't need that right now. So it became no more church. Barely praying, acting as if that I was just best friends with God when I'm not, because I ran away from Him. He's just waiting there at the door for me to answer it.
Right.
I'm walking away from that.
Right.
So all of that's going on, but I'm growing up, too. So I'm realizing like, I don't want to do this today because that is just like wrecking my health. No, I don't want to have this conversation because it's not adding anything that I need. So I started walking away from a few things, going to bars, drinking, and very, very shiny things that like whenever you're young and in
you
college.
Probably had people like.
Oh yeah, well that
why?
Always. Yeah.
Why you want to do that? Like you're not gonna come with us, or you're not gonna,
And that always happens. And like to the young people that are listening to that are around my age or younger, as cheesy as it is to say like, oh, don't listen to them. Like that's the best advice that I could give is just block that out. Because if you know that the road and path that you're on is going to be a good one, that, fully aware of that, why would you go down into the dark forest? Why would you just go ahead and just like turn off right as soon as he says go straight?
Right.
Because you're fully aware of where you're going, and the words and things around you do not matter.
Right.
So that's all going on, and that doesn't really bother me. I'm very much a person.
It's like a temptation, but
right.
Are you gonna like be hooked or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Well, and the devil loves to do that because like what I like to call like with the priests, and then all the things like little thing. I like to say that, God plants seeds. He does, to grow a beautiful tree.
That's right.
In my mind, the way I look at it too is that Satan likes to place little seeds too.
But they're weeds.
Exactly.
It's gonna tear up your garden.
Exactly. I was getting there. I'm glad you. Yeah, because that's why.
We're on the same mindset.
Yeah. Exactly. So, where God's planting that tree, my trees are already established. My tree's already there, right? And He's waiting for the fruit to grow. He's waiting for like all the little flowers and all that.
Just be beautiful.
Yeah, and He's cool, right? Every little situation where I may have felt proud of my faith, Satan drops a little seed of a little weed, plants it right there. I'm gonna tear this root out.
Oh, he's getting too close.
Yeah,
he's getting too close to him. Let me plant it right here.
So, and this. So yeah, I'm getting excited about this conversation because this is very much I like this. In high school, so I'm gonna jump back way even further because the things with my friends and all that we all of us are starting to mature now, where we're starting to walk away from that things, but we feel lost because we've divulged in so many things the hole in our hearts has grown.
Right.
What do we fill that with?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people are lost and don't know what to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I've had a few people in my life like you that has shown me what to go to. So years ago, being a little kid, our grandmother taught us to say the rosary,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like set in stone. You're learning how to say the rosary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
You didn't have a choice. Yes.
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting with me to say the rosary.
Yes.
And thank God she did that.
I know.
Because that was amazing. Because I have so many memories from that.
It's instilled in us. So.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I was I ended up having an elementary teacher. I think it was elementary. A lot of that's kind of vague.
Mm-hmm.
But God has recently been able to place memories in my heart to really look back on and learn from, to get to where I'm at now.
Kind of like
To-
showing you
Yeah.
what happened before.
Right. To almost in a way to relive them, to learn the lesson in which I've lost that I didn't realize back then, but I'm realizing it now because I'm mature.
Like you learning the lesson now,
Yeah.
and you didn't then.
Because I'm mature enough in my heart and mind to learn the correct
Right. I see. Yeah.
lesson in all of this.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hang on.
I did too.
Yeah.
I think my mouth is so dry.
So yeah, no. So yeah, so Granny's she taught us the rosary and we're all the time, and I loved doing all that stuff. And at that time, I was so proud of that, so proud of my faith. I was so young. That child innocence is always there. Like we had a whole conversation about that before. That whenever you're a kid, the innocence of a kid and like his relationship with God, his or her relationship with God is like.
I see it in my own.
Yeah, exactly.
Children.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like you wish that you could have just a little piece
I want
of that.
that again.
Yeah. That's where I was with that.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was volunteering to read scriptures, to bring up gifts, and whatever
In
I
school.
could, whatever I could do, just to do like because I didn't have any embarrassment.
Right.
I was
You were
fully
confident.
I was so confident as a kid at that age. And I have a vivid memory, like very just like it's right there, a memory of at that time being very proud to say the rosary, knowing it word for word, just being like I'm like this is my like
Yeah, like we did it every week.
Yeah.
When we stayed with her in the summertime, it was like
like you said the rosary with her like every
Yeah.
And one of my teachers at the time, whatever grade it was, I forget. She liked to say the rosary with the class, right? And it was like we start off the day with like we're saying the rosary.
That's pretty nice.
It's awesome
because if you
I suggested a lot of teachers should do that. It's amazing. And she would always like have like little volunteers. We would go like down like a line of like people who, and it was like
you would say a decade or whatever.
you would say the whole like you would lead the whole rosary.
Oh, I got you.
Right?
Okay. Like we would take turns saying a decade with Granny, but y'all would do it like one whole person would lead it.
Yeah. So So like we're exactly.
Okay.
So at some point, it was finally my turn.
And you were excited.
Oh,
probably,
man.
because I know how to do this. Like,
This
is my thing.
Yeah. That is like you don't understand.
Yeah.
This woman back home has taught me this.
Yeah.
You got no clue.
Right.
She's like a saint.
Yeah.
Okay. Like 100%. I was like totally like just like Superman in that situation where like I know how to do this. I'm doing it right.
Right.
Like you have no clue.
Yeah.
Fully confident, you know. And so I go up and I'm in the middle of like 20 people in my class. And never before this has a crowd ever given me anxiety or made me nervous. And I wasn't. And I started saying it. And I'm like, I know this. Like, give me the book, lady. Like, I'm, you know, I started reading it. I started saying the rosary. And she just goes, whoa, stop. I'm like, oh, what you mean stop? You're saying it wrong.
At what point? Like, do you even remember?
It was while I was saying, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
Okay.
And I was saying that. And I must have been saying it fast or something that she couldn't understand.
Okay.
So, and again, nothing against her because she taught me so much about my religion.
Right.
And love her to this day. Like, amazing woman. But in this moment, childlike mind.
Right.
stop. You're saying it wrong. You're messing up.
And it embarrassed you.
Oh, it embarrassed me. Like, really bad. Because the entire class was just like, is he saying it wrong? Oh my God, he's saying... Like, because, and they might not have been.
Minds start, especially as a child.
Yeah. Everybody starts cooking. Right. In their brains.
Right.
And a lot of them probably weren't even saying anything. A lot of them were probably just like, why are we doing this right now?
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like...
This was your moment.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And,
and that was, like, stolen.
Right.
And that little devil planting that weed,
That's right.
because already I was like on a Jesus high. I was like, this is my stuff.
Right.
You can't touch this.
Right.
He touched it.
Yeah.
Embarrassed me. And I remember like right after she said all that, and then she was like, let's start off, and she was like trying to help me say it.
You were irritated.
Oh, I was so angry. And then I started getting like really red in the face and just didn't even want to say it. So like I just went silent for the rest of the rosary as she said it.
So she did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, she started saying it, and I was kind of like, no. Like, it's kind of like,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, it happened. It is what it is.
Right.
But that right there, that was
sad
like...
sad for that child. Like,
Right. Yeah. Well, nobody likes to see a kid get embarrassed,
Right. I mean, did she even recognize it?
I don't believe she did. I don't think she realized in that situation that it was embarrassing to me because she doesn't know the walk that I already had with it.
Right.
Because before me, they had kids in the class that were going up to say it and didn't even know the
what they were
rosary.
doing.
They had no clue.
Right. Right.
To me, that cocky kind of confidence of the kid that like I knew it, I was like, I'm gonna do it perfectly.
Right.
And maybe it was a little bit of God like knocking me down a peg at the time. I don't know.
He was knocking you off that pedestal.
Right. Yeah, 100%. It might have been, But then when it happened, it kind of like rocked the faith where the devil was kind of planting that weed there and was like, you don't know, I'm gonna embarrass you.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about at all.
He's putting in your mind like, that's it. Like, don't even try
nothing no more.
No more. You gotta be silent.
Yeah, because after that, I didn't volunteer to say the rosary ever again. Mm-hmm. Wasn't going to do that. I did not volunteer to go up to say scripture ever again for any masses at all. Was done with that. Completely done.
And that's so sad.
It is sad. It is, because, man, if I had the chance to sit down with like my 7-year-old self and talk to him, I'd be like, bro, come on.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
I would give anything for that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for these situations.
That's right. Yeah.
So that happened, and then getting older, very much like not wanting to touch it at all.
Mm-hmm. It kind of stayed with you.
Right. Yeah. But that stemmed into anxiety. Mm-hmm. I can remember like a year later being like around that time of being like 9 years old, 10 years old, having a full blown panic attack for the first time. Mm-hmm. Out of nowhere, and it was something probably very sick because at the time ADD medicine, all that stuff was coming out and all that, so that probably did not help.
Yeah.
But like that went on, and like first like just gut punch of an anxiety attack, like just crying and freaking out in my room, and mom like
what is going on?
Yeah, poor mama, dude. I feel so bad like looking back at it now because we've had conversations about it now, and she was like
she didn't know what was going on.
She had no clue what to do even, try to calm me down. And I was good. I went to school. Like, it was whatever. But, like, I remember, like, vividly having that panic attack.
The breakdown.
Like, freaking out.
Yeah.
And it was very much, like, all these voices, just, like, people are talking. And, like, I was never bullied. I had a...
If anything, you stood up for people. I remember.
Right. Yeah. Like, I never was bullied. I never had anybody like say anything about me. Like,
right. You were just friends with everybody.
I was friends with as many people as I could.
Yeah.
But then also like going back to being lonely. Like I'm friends with everybody, but I'm too anxious to get any deeper with anybody else.
Right.
Except for like my core group, and my core group knows like that. Those are my people.
Right.
So that all and so. Back to all of this, like God Himself recently has been showing me a lot of this stuff, reliving it, going through it, learning lessons that I didn't know that I needed at the time until now, past relationships, past failings, reliving a lot of it, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, like I get it, like I get the lessons, I know what you're saying, where do you want me to, like, what is the next?
What do you think that he's trying to tell you?
Right. So I'm at work and I'm moving and all that, and I like to listen to like podcasts and different things while I'm moving because I drive a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I put on this guy on YouTube, George Janko, I believe was his name, if I'm not mistaken. Love his stuff. If y'all get the opportunity to go check him out, it'd be awesome.
Is that the one that you sent me and?
Yeah, I believe I sent you the podcast.
Okay, yeah, he's good.
Yeah. So, listening to him, and he starts talking about how he made a song, and I was like, okay, cool, and he talks about God all the time. The amount of love that he has for his Lord is like where I want to be. Mm-hmm. The dude's great. Mm-hmm. Talks about that he made a song called like something like God, give me the heart of David. Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean? And I just started listening to talk, and he talks about like his own walk with faith and all this other stuff, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm saying like, so I just started dwelling on like the heart of David, mm-hmm. And so I started looking back to like all these memories. And I'm like, I didn't have that heart. And I'm like, well, what does that heart even mean to have that? And I want to ask you what you think in a minute. But to me, being a man and being a kid and and all that stuff, in those situations specifically, mm-hmm. I believe it should have been having undeniable, unshakable faith in my Lord, mm-hmm. first off. Mm-hmm. Second, bravery. Mm-hmm. Full confidence. And to look failure in the face, look the devil in the face, and just
brush him off.
It's good.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem.
Right.
I'm gonna keep walking.
Right.
And he talks about this, and he's like, I've been praying to God to give me the heart of David. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, now I know what you want. You want me to start praying to you more gracefully, mm-hmm. deeper, and specifically to pray. So he says the heart of David. Uh-huh. And then he says, no, I'm not done. I need you to start praying to have the love of Jesus too. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh man, what? I have love. No. Mm-hmm. You do, but you don't. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, what do you mean? And I'm real like thinking about it, and he's like, you're quick to anger for certain situations. Mm-hmm. You lack love when I'm giving it to you. You don't receive it and you don't give it, mm-hmm. Because you wall off because of your anxiety. Mm-hmm. It's time that you start praying to me deeply about having the heart of David as a courageous man, having unshakable faith in me, mm-hmm. and you start having the love of Jesus. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So now I'm on a full journey of rediscovery for my faith. Uh-huh. Loving it every second of it.
Good.
A lot of it gets difficult, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. But a lot of it I'm really loving right now, mm-hmm. because it's almost like I have like the childlike innocence again right now. Mm-hmm. I'm like on that Jesus high where it feels good, which it ain't always gonna feel good. No. It's gonna get tough. It's gonna get horrible.
Especially the closer you get to Him, I feel like the tougher that it does get.
100%.
Yeah, the devil's gonna try even harder on those people because he doesn't want you. He's trying to take you away from Him.
No, because that's the warriors. That's the ones that are gonna be on the front line.
Right. Let's see if I do this to him.
Yeah.
Is he gonna still follow you? Is he still gonna look at you?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's So like I'm fully regaining all that confidence and regaining that sense of faith. Mm-hmm. But and I already see you as a person having the heart of David. And not fully maybe. We're all human. You're human. Mm-hmm. But in my eyes, I do. Mm-hmm. And because.
Well, thank you. But
well. For a long time, though, I've only seen you as a mother figure. Right? So if mom was working, she couldn't pick me up, or whatever was going on where mom just couldn't be present in that specific moment, mm-hmm. you were the mother. We have a large gap in between our ages, so when the opportunity presented itself, you were my mother. Mm-hmm. I never had the opportunity to see you as my sister. I didn't have the opportunity to see you as my friend. Mm-hmm. Doing this and growing deeper, I have now seen you as my sister. Mm-hmm. And then, but after you left and you got married and all that stuff, I started growing up and doing my
Right.
own things, and then you became a real mother.
Right.
So it was like you're a mom.
Right.
You know, I still didn't really get to see that, but now, growing more with you and realizing a lot of these things, I see you as my like a real sister that's very powerful in her faith. That whenever I'm falling, you're gonna be a sister. You're gonna pick me up. You know, you're gonna talk to me like a sister would, with love and compassion. But then I see you as a friend, where you're gonna be like, you're gonna be real. Real, like, and when she gets real, it's real. Which is what I need, though, you know,
Yeah.
because you fully became the in a way the rock that I needed, where other people have failed or couldn't do it. Not fail is the wrong word, but couldn't
At the time.
at the time.
Yeah, for certain things.
Right. Because my friends do wonderful jobs in that category, but I don't give myself enough to fall to my knees and be vulnerable.
Right.
Right.
They maybe don't see the full side of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't allow them to. First off,
Right,
and they
right.
know that a lot of us don't do that for each
Right.
other, and that's a weird thing.
I think
with,
it's like a boy thing. Too,
it,
kind of.
it is a boy thing.
Some girls are like that, but like
Right. It is
more of a
It is a boy thing, but I even think it's like a generational thing.
yeah,
Sometimes,
maybe so.
you know, because even like we're getting softer, like more vulnerable as time goes on, and I can be more vulnerable with my friends now. But like if you look at like mom and dad's generation, that's like complete wall off.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna show you anything
Right.
at all.
Right.
Like you see me cry, turn the other way. There ain't no way you just saw that.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, there's no way I'm gonna do it in front of you.
Absolutely
so,
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so so I'm not able to show that to my friends, but I'm able to show that to you. In a way. And we're doing that more.
Right.
And I feel more comfortable. Like right now, the conversation that we're having is unreal in my opinion, because we're fully just vulnerable and can have a conversation as a brother and a sister, but as friends, you know, where it can get deeper, you know, because I feel like sometimes people see talking to their family as like terrifying. They don't want to do that because if my family's gonna judge me,
They're gonna think something about me.
Yeah, I've already painted a picture for them, so if they see this side of me, it's
Right.
like, oh,
Right.
you know,
I have to be perfect for them.
yeah,
No.
yeah. But we've jumped that barrier where it's now where I can be a friend to
Yeah.
you, and you can be a friend to me, and if I'm falling, you're gonna pick me back up. And hopefully you feel the same way.
Yes.
You know.
I do.
But in as a mom, as a family member, and as a friend, how do you see the heart of David? Like, what do you see it? Where do you see it in your life personally, and and what do you think that it means to have the heart of David, or to pray for it even?
For me, I think that it means like courage. And let's say courage in my life is like I have a lot of anxiety and worry about my children. I know that I'm supposed to be like, God's gonna take care of everything, stop worrying so much, but it's very hard for me. Like it's one of the things that like I struggle with internally to like let go of.
Yeah.
So I feel like to have the courage would be more of like the heart of David, not to have fear. And to walk that battle and not care. That's probably the wrong word. Not to like not care at all, but like not to care what others are gonna say. Or not to put yourself that high on that pedestal. Like, I'm trying to explain what I mean. Like, you may have like done something so great, but like I would want to do it in a way that the Father has asked me to do it, but I don't expect for anybody to be like, oh, you were so wise, you did that so good.
Because you know in your heart that where it's coming from.
Right.
You don't, because this is good, because I was learning this a little bit. When it comes to God's works, when it comes to people around you, you're not the hero of the story.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You're the messenger.
It's hard to not be like, I'm in the spotlight right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because the people around are like saying good things about you. And I have found myself in that situation throughout my life a lot.
Right.
Like,
feeling like you're as if like you're the hero of the story. I'm saving these people.
Yes, our mama, she passed away a long time ago.
Right.
She would always, God rest her soul, but she would always like make a difference between like me and Brittany, like me and my sister.
Right.
And would make me seem so way up here and make Brittany feel like she was like down here.
Yeah, which isn't right.
And I just did not like that.
No.
Like at all. It would make me feel bad, like because it would hurt her feelings so much.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of like what I'm trying to say. Like I never, like the hero in the situation, I never want to feel like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel like...
Yeah. So...
I don't know. You know?
Well, I'll tell you this then, because I know what you're talking about.
Mm.
Because a lot of retreats and stuff that I've been on, it feels good to be like, my speech helped that dude.
Yes.
Even though a lot of my words came from him.
It wasn't even you.
It wasn't even me.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I'm just the vessel. I'm the messenger. I'm not a hero.
Right.
So I try to remind myself a lot when the situation comes is, I didn't know that you nailed yourself to the cross.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you bled. I didn't know you got whipped.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't. He did.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
His sacrifice, that's the hero.
Right.
I'm just sending the message to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Trying to remind myself of like, and it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
I'm sorry if I went all over the place with that. I was trying
No, that's perfect. No, because I like that. I like, I try to remind myself that though. Where it's like, you didn't get beat and nailed to a cross and drop blood to save the world.
Right.
You didn't do that.
Right.
He did that.
Right.
And my boy, I'm like, yeah, you know, let's back up a little bit because I'm not Superman. I'm not God. You know, I can't put myself up here.
Let me humble myself right now.
Right.
Quick.
Yeah. And you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. You know, because we're human and we're gonna feel that because you like to have recognition. You feel good.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Right.
And part of it will come to you whenever you know full well that it's coming from him.
Right. And I think like what I try to, and I heard this before from somebody, and I don't remember like where it came from, but she had said that like everything in her life, she does it for him.
Yeah.
Like somebody came to her house and was like, your house is always so nice and neat and clean, and like how do you do that? Like how, like you have kids, like, and she was like, I do everything for the Lord. The Lord gave me this house. This is not mine. I will not have this whenever I'm gone anymore. He gave this to me, so I'm gonna take care of it like it's God's. It is his. I'm taking care of it because it's his.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
If I started looking at my life in that perspective,
yeah.
Like, so like now I tell my kids that, I'm like, Riker, like you gotta take care of your things because it's God's. Like he gave this to you. This is the reason that you have this. So like we need to take care of these things because it's his.
Well, fully. It could be an opportunity. It could be money. It could be a house. Everything has stemmed from him.
That's
like
right.
Everything.
Right.
You know, everything good.
You're not taking anything whenever you go.
Right.
He's giving you these things.
Yeah. Everything good, fully, has come from him.
Right.
100%.
Right.
You know, you'll know when it's bad.
That's right, and it's not from him then.
Right. You'll know.
Right.
You know, and people, we all got a moral compass.
Right.
You know, but that's where like all of this is making complete sense with me in the fact that of like the heart of David, right? And the love of Jesus, right? The heart of David, like, you got to think, like this dude, little dude, your average size guy, you know, like for a soldier or like around that time, like this little dude.
You say soldier, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but the first thing that I think about when I hear David is I'm covering myself with the armor of God.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You know?
Because he fully did, though.
Yeah.
Like, 100%. Like, because if you really think back to him, he wasn't like that much of like a soldier. Like, he wasn't like, you know.
He put on the armor that King, who was it? The king at the time.
Saul?
It was it King Saul at the time whenever he was, it might have been. I don't know.
I'd have to look back.
But he put on the armor and it like, was so heavy and so big
Yeah,
that he had
yeah.
to take it off.
Yeah.
That's like a representation right there.
Yeah.
So he fully clothed himself with the armor of God.
Yeah.
He didn't have this physical armor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And in his heart, he was like, ain't nothing gonna touch me.
I got this.
I'm good.
He's got this. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
he's
not
got.
I got
Yeah,
this.
he's got it.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that was in his mind.
Right.
Because people are quick to go, and we all do it. I do it too. I got it.
That's right.
I got it. No problem. No, he's got it.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
In turn, I got it. Well, I'm gonna be okay. But he's got
Because of him.
Because of him.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And we forget to give it to him. I forget to give it to him every day.
I do too. Everybody. I mean.
But like, cause we, at some point in our lives, multiple times in a day even, we're gonna have to be David, and we're gonna have giants walking up on us.
That's right.
Giants,
It
like
could be anything.
We're gonna have giants walking up. So are you gonna just like let the giant just stomp on you and just keep walking, or are you gonna?
And sometimes I do, and then
Yeah.
afterwards I'm like,
oh, and you feel
why
it.
did you do that?
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's that's the moral compass, though.
And I'm like, God, next time, help me.
Yeah.
To just do what you
Yeah.
want me to do. Like,
See, that's why
you know?
I think he wants us to start praying to have the heart of David and the love of Jesus.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because having that heart of David, you're fully unshakable.
Yeah.
Because you know he's got it.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing gonna push me around.
Yeah.
That's why David, a sling, okay, with a rock,
Right.
hit the giant, and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
just,
Bam.
done.
Yeah.
You know.
And can you imagine everybody else like?
Oh man.
Just
If I saw a little dude throw a rock at somebody that was like 10 foot tall and he would drop, no, dude,
Yeah.
there's no way. I'm dreaming right now.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But
that's the whole point of
exactly,
it. It's like
exactly. You
something
know?
that's impossible.
It became
God
possible.
made it happen, so then they like,
Yeah.
oh, your God is like
Yeah.
almighty.
Yeah.
You know?
You know? That's like 100% evidence. Like, he's here.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Nothing's going to touch me if he's got me.
Right.
Because I like to use the analogy. You ever heard the limestone analogy?
I don't know.
So I was thinking about this the other day.
Uh-huh.
You know limestone, like gravel,
Mm-hmm.
like just
Yeah.
you walk into a gravel parking lot, they got limestone everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care what rock you pick up, every rock's gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single pebble, like throughout the entire parking lot of limestone, is gonna be the same.
Right.
It's completely impossible.
Right.
Think of all of us as a different rock or pebble in that limestone parking lot. We're all different, but we're all gonna have a tire come and roll at us at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so we all got our different journeys. We're all gonna have giants in situations that are just like either horrible or just gargantuan, like just like a giant problem.
Right. Right.
You know, how are you gonna
Approach
adapt
it,
and
or-
adapt and approach that situation?
Right.
Are you quick to anger on that situation?
Right.
Or are you going to put love for it first?
Right.
Are you going to cower in the corner? Or are you going to have a heart of David and walk up to it and say, I got it?
I like that.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that. I'm trying to get to that point. And I am for a lot
And
of
every
things.
situation's different. And
Yeah.
every situation's like sometimes I do cower down, and then like I said,
Yeah.
then I feel bad about it afterwards,
Right.
and I'm like,
Right.
I shouldn't have did that. It could be the smallest little thing. Like
Yeah.
God is telling me to tell somebody something.
Yeah.
I'm like, these people are gonna think I'm crazy, God.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like this happened to me already, like not that long ago.
Right.
So I'm gonna just talk about it because
No,
I wasn't
go-
sure if I
yeah.
was gonna say anything about it. But so I had to go get medicine for Riker, and I drive up to like the drive-through thing
Yeah.
to go drop off his prescription.
Yeah.
And the lady is like all over the place. Okay, like they must be swamped busy.
Probably so.
And I can just tell that she is like frantic, panicky,
Losing her mind,
just,
probably.
Her day is not on
Yeah.
that great, that smooth. So God's talking to me in my
Oh,
mind,
man.
and he's like, you need to tell this lady something. He tells, I'm like, this lady's gonna think I'm crazy, God. But, oh man, Lindsay, you do this all the time. I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah.
Like, he's telling you to say something and you don't. And then afterwards, you're like, man, I really should have listened to you. Like, I really should have, like, let that person know, you know?
Yeah.
And so he's telling me, gosh, what was it? It was like, tell this lady that everything's gonna be okay. and that her day is gonna get better. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. That's
Yeah.
it. It was like the simplest
It's
little
simple.
thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know this woman. No.
Yeah.
No. So we leave. So I drop it off. I don't say anything. We drop it off.
Yeah.
We leave. We come home. I get a thing saying that
It's ready.
It's ready
Yeah.
to go pick up.
Oh man,
So-
now you gotta go back.
He's still in there, and
Yeah.
he's like, it's gonna be the same lady.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta do it.
It's gonna be the same lady when you drive up, and like, I need you to tell this
Yeah.
lady this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what is this lady gonna think about? Like, what, like, the whole time I'm worried about what she's gonna think of me. Like, instead of just, like, why?
Yeah.
Like, you know? So we drive up, and, again, I can tell that, like, I don't know, like, she's just very, like, trying to rush around in there. She's on the phone. Then she
Yeah.
finally gets to me, and I let it go through the whole entire process. Like, she gives me everything and whatever, and then as soon as I sign it and I'm putting the thing in there, I just looked at her, and, like, she looked at me, like, at the same exact time, and I was like, okay, it's time. And I said, ma'am, I just want to let you know, I said, something's telling me to tell you that it's okay, and that your day is going to get better, and that you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And she just looked at me, and she's, like, kind of like, almost looked like she wanted to cry, and she smiled, and she said, thank you so much.
Oh.
And I was like, you're welcome. I said, have a good day.
See that? Like,
it was the simplest little thing, and I
Yeah.
was so terrified to death to say it. Like, why? And I
Yeah.
finally did it, and like he's talking about that little feeling of like feeling good, kind of like.
Yeah.
When I drove away, I felt good, but I said, "Thank
Yeah.
you, God.
Yeah,
Like, you helped
'cause-
me. Like, I
yeah.
finally done it. Like, it's like I faced my fear."
as human beings, though, we feel good when as a collective we feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody else is smiling, you want to smile too.
Right.
If somebody else is sad, you want to be sad.
Yeah.
Like we can, push emotions off on each other.
Right.
You know?
Which I think that, like, we should try to, like, reverse it. Like, if you see
Yeah.
somebody sad, then, like,
Yeah.
how you doing today?
Which we should, but that was the point, I think, in that lesson that God wanted you to learn.
Right.
The heart of David, the love of Jesus.
Right.
Okay, it goes together.
Right.
You can't have one without the other.
Right.
Have the heart of David to have the confidence to go, and have the love of Jesus to have an understanding and words to say.
Right. Right.
Because right there, we need to do that more often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know anybody personally that genuinely checks up on other people, like that they know personally. I mean, you and your family,
Right.
but you live with them, and it's you can do that.
Right.
But like, people my age don't just go out of their way to text their friends or somebody to be like, "Hey man, how are you doing today? What's going on?"
And it's nice to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, I know that I'm not the only one. Like, you got like a feeling, like you get like a moment where you're just like, "Oh man, I need to call that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like something's up."
Yeah. And
know?
like a lot of times they will have like something going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Man, I
More
was really
times-
thinking about calling you,
Yeah.
but I didn't."
Yeah.
And
You
like,
see, more times than not, they're having that moment.
right. Right.
Where it's like, dude, I needed you to call.
Yeah.
Like, I had no clue that you were gonna do that.
Yeah.
But like 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna call. You don't feel, because you're like, I'm being crazy.
Yeah. But it's not. He's
It's
really
not.
trying to tell you
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying like really hard like to recognize those things as him and be like, I see you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm getting to the point in my relationship with God where I'm like, he's like a friend now, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I see you working over there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not, I don't want to close I don't want to have a blind eye
Right.
anymore to that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right.
Where I wasn't at a few years ago, where like stuff would happen, I get like, mad or something, like where I'm at now, where it's like something happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't today.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you work out the details, bro. I'm gonna keep working. That's the thing too. People forget that when they fully give everything to God, they think it means I don't have to work no more. That's not what that means.
Mm-mm.
When you give everything to God, that means He's gonna work out the kinks. He's gonna figure things out for you. Get your nose to the grindstone and start working.
That's right. The Bible says too that I'm not gonna like quote it, but like it talks about how you should work for the so many days, and on the last day you rest.
Yeah.
God gives us rest because in creation that's how He made things,
Right,
and on
right.
the seventh day He rested.
Right.
And that was to give us rest.
Yeah.
That's why He created that.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So you should work and then rest.
Yeah.
But you still should work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, people forget that.
You know?
It's because it's very easy to just say, because he's all powerful, and if he wanted to, he could snap his fingers and just give it all to you right now.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If God came to you, though, right, and said, gave you two choices, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to work no more. I'll give you everything right now with a snap of a finger, okay? But I can't promise you paradise after having everything.
Mm-hmm.
The other choice is work as much as you can. Bust your butt, man. Like, just get to work.
And you have eternity.
And you got paradise forever. Now, whatever happens with everything that you want, that's all during, like, that whole journey. Mm-hmm. You got to work. But I can't give it all to you now.
Mm-hmm.
But you will have paradise with me.
Mm-hmm.
What are you choosing? Yeah.
Paradise forever,
Where we're at in our minds is like, yeah, I want to have that gift that I can't get nowhere else. Mm-hmm. But to some people,
I'm willing for it to be hard.
Right.
As long as I can be with him at the end.
I'm okay with falling to my knees, man.
Mm-hmm.
I want to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have times where I fall so I can learn from that failure.
Mm-hmm. And that is why he gives us that.
Yeah.
So that we can rely on him.
Yeah.
He wants you to come to him.
Yeah.
He's, like you said, he's just right. He's just there.
Yeah.
He's not running away from you.
No.
You're running away from him if you're not following.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I've closed a lot of doors in his face. Saying
me
I
too.
don't need
I'm
that
not
today.
comfortable with that, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just sitting there.
Yeah.
He might ring the doorbell every once in a while.
Yeah.
But he's just sitting there waiting for you to open that door again. And he knows that you're going to need him at some point.
Right.
Right. But yeah, I'm loving this conversation. I really don't want it to end, but it has to end at some point. So we're kind of running out of time.
I don't even know how much time.
No, I think we're running out of time. Yeah, we're running out of time. But yeah, I mean, if there's anything that I really wanted to tell, that y'all need to get from this, I mean, where I'm at now, and I think where you might start, doing it is where, for your prayer, man, fully invest yourself in prayer. Do a little bit of fasting, and do what if you're stuck and feel that have certain feelings like I have currently or have had in the past, ask God to give you the heart of David. Ask God to give you the love of Jesus. Open your Bible up. That's a big thing. Just ask him to give you something that you need to read. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Marking Milestones podcast. If you liked what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Don't forget to check out our Instagrams at marking_milestones_ and Marking Milestones Way of Water. Check out our new shirt designs as well as our new posts and future projects. Thank you, and as always, leave your mark.